Hello everyone, my name is Jake, and today I'll be giving you advice on how to present in the most effective manner. There are a wide range of presentation techniques that can be used, and they can be used at different times depending on the situation. An example of one of these techniques is by making sure that you speak clearly and at a good pace. This is very important, particularly if you are working in radio, as people will only be able to hear your voice. You should speak at a reasonable pace, such as the pace I'm speaking at now. Talking at this pace allows both listeners and viewers to process what you are saying with ease. Whereas if you're talking at a pace like this, it can become very difficult for people to understand you. If you talk slowly, it can become quite boring to listen to.
You look freakishly similar to Dan. Do you think you were separated at birth, or are you his evil twin?
Yes, I actually do think that we were separated at birth. I'm definitely the evil twin.
That was an example about how to use good pace in speaking clearly. Now let's move on to the next technique. The next technique that we're going to talk about is using inclusive language. Inclusive language is words and sentences that make the viewer feel included in the conversation, even if they're not physically there. Examples about how to use inclusive language are using words such as we and phrases such as us all. This is a technique that can be used on both television and radio. An example of that will now be demonstrated.
Did you watch Judges' Houses on X Factor? Yeah! How much crime was done on Dermot's shoulder?
And that was an example about how to use inclusive language. Let's move on. Let's take this scenario that we're on a talk show such as 8 out of 10 Cats. You've all heard of it, right? At the beginning of the show, Jimmy Carr may talk about recent news stories and ask rhetorical questions with use of inclusive language, such as, "We've all heard about the story of Amanda Bynes, haven't we?" That's a cool little trick to use, isn't it? Using this kind of language also helps to build rapport, which is where presenters talk about audience's world, and the example used earlier, the downfall of Amanda Bynes, is something that happened in the audience's Twitter world. Now those are just a few little presentation techniques that you can use to boost your presentation skills. Thanks for watching.